Well, from social network privacy to gas prices, there are a lot of big issues going on in Washington right now.
That's right. And joining us with more this morning is Congressman Bill Huizenga. Bill, great to see you again.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good
How
to be
you
here
doing?
with you. We're doing just fine. Yeah, summer's getting here, and it'll be good to have the kids out of school and those kinds of things.
Absolutely.
Well, you are obviously always busy in Washington, but you have some key pieces of legislation that you guys have been working on. I want to get your opinion on the social networking bill right now. What do you think about that?
Well, and I think that is very interesting. Obviously, when we're in Washington trying to deal with how the states are responding to all these things, it's a big deal. I mean, and we try to talk to our own kids. You know, my oldest is in 8th grade, 14, and we try talking to them. You know, there is an electronic trail of breadcrumbs everywhere we go and everything that we do, and it seems to me it's a bit of an overstep when you've got an HR person asking for passwords and those kinds of things. But I mean, people have to be careful what they're doing and what they're putting out there, and we have to make sure that one, the government's not collecting things that it shouldn't be collecting, and then keeping an eye as well on what businesses are doing with that.
So I think it's really interesting in this day and age, because 10, 15 years ago we wouldn't be talking about any of these privacy issues.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's completely different, and everybody's walking around with 1 or 2 cameras on them, depending on how many cell phones they carry and whether they've got an iPad and all those other things. And frankly, Mike and I probably wouldn't be in the positions we're in right now if we had all those. But,
just saying.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we know that you're good, Sarah.
Right.
You're good, but but it is completely changed the complexion of people's interactions. And last night I was at the Grand Rapids Econ Club dinner, and there I am live tweeting about what Tony Blair's having to say and those kinds of things, and people are taking photos, and it's completely changed the complexion. We're probably doing photos right now that'll end up on Facebook and Twitter and those kinds of things, just with what we're doing now. So the speed with which everything is dealing with it, or as we're dealing with it, has just changed so much.
Well, speaking of some things that people are dealing with, I mean, these gas prices, it's been such a roller coaster, and people have been predicting we're going to reach $5, we're going to reach $4, what is it going to be? And there's some legislation going on right now that's later on in June that you're going to be talking about, right?
Yeah, and I think that's actually a state, specifically the bill is a state issue that is looking at how to round out those cliffs that happen especially over holidays and Thursdays, for example. And there are some things that we can do at the federal level as well to help, and it's frustrating to me that we're not doing that. Saturday I filled up my Yukon, and there it was, $100, and it definitely impacts a family and impacts all of us as consumers. So we're hoping to see that there's going to be some things at the state level and the federal level that try to deal with that.
Hey, we had a question from one of our viewers that they wanted to ask you. This JC Freedom Fighter Clarity Bill, is that right?
Yep.
Asks, what is your thought on House Bill 5580? Safe access is a must, don't you agree? Of course, talking about the bill regulating medical marijuana provisioning centers. Do your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I believe that one is also specifically a state bill that they have gone through. But it's interesting. I've talked to a number of those HR people that we were talking about as well, and what was more interesting to me was talking to school principals and school superintendents, and the number of students and frankly their parents that are coming in arguing for these kids needing to have their medical marijuana card and those kinds of things. I didn't realize glaucoma was so prevalent in high school these days. I mean, there's how do you separate, I guess, is the real challenge. How do you separate those that need it or need to have something like it to them, and those that are looking for, frankly, more of a lifestyle element? And that seems reasonable to me if we are having medical doctors physically examine somebody as opposed to doing it over a video link or maybe not even seeing them, having some sort of regulation on the access to it. And I know people are very passionate about it. I hear about it from them. They believe it's something that they ought to have free, unfettered access to. But we have state laws and the federal laws in conflict all the time on this. And talking to the state's attorneys general, whether it's Bill Schuette here in Michigan or others, we hear about this all the time, where their law enforcement basically just throws its hands up and says, so which am I supposed to follow?
Right.
The federal laws, the state laws, is there a threshold here that we ought to be looking at? And I think we've got a responsibility to give some clarity on that.
All right. Well, I think we are out of time. It's always good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you guys,
You can sit out here for another couple hours if you want.
Hey,
let's see the news.
All right. I'm happy to do that. And I remember as a kid going through the Kiwat, and it's going to be sad to see it go, but I understand why it has to. So.
Well, Congressman Huizenga, thanks for coming in this morning. Spending some time with us. We appreciate it.